and he knows the employment of it, but does he know it as well as an F-15 driver? Does he know it as well as an A-10 driver? Is he comparable to a 13 Lima who's been a JTAC and is JTAC certified? No. But what we've done poorly and what the career field is currently rectifying is some type of additional pipeline training for the 13 Limas to make them more of an air power expert, more of a cyber expert, more of that stow-level dude within the squadron, which is the right move. What I do tell my flight commanders every day, hey man, you are not that important, and here's why. Because we've been running flights without officer oversight for years, and I don't need you for that. Here's what I need you for. I don't need you to be the first guy in the shoot house through the door. That's not what I need you for. I need you in the talk, basically, with the Army. The only reason why you're a JTAC is to have a freaking concept of understanding what your enlisted guys are doing and bring that capability to the talk. Not on the X. And unfortunately, I think we probably do a poor job of selling that to our young officers. Guys are coming out. Okay, a kid comes out of the academy, man. He's hot. He wants like, I want to be a 13 Lima. I want to be a TAC-P officer, or I want to be a combat control officer. And we sell them this bag of bullshit that they're going to be door-kicking fucking Tier 1 Delta Force operators, when the actuality is they're going to be at the brigade level interacting with the brigade staff, which I know you've seen. You know what I mean? You probably seen it too, even on the EOD side. So I think we sell them a false sense of goods, you know. But we're working diligently to cut through the bureaucracy and bullshit, really, to make sure that these guys understand what they're getting into, and what their responsibilities are to the career field. You know, you're supposed, man, by all means, I need a TAC-P officer. I need a 13 officer to be a two below the zone guy. I need that. You mean I need that kind of stuff. My enlisted force depends on that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, man. Just like every other branch of service, at the end of the day, officers run the Air Force. You know, that's just the way it is, and I recognize that. I'm good with that. I'm absolutely happy in my choice. You know what I mean? But the advocacy is the number one thing that TAC-Ps could use on the officer side of the house, and we have some TAC-P officers that are working very, very hard, doing great things to make sure that happens.
So you bring up kind of that whole construct of building those units. You know, you have the STSs and the ASOFs. I remember last month or two, Vice Chief Staff of the Air Force sent out a little 2-page white paper memo, basically talking about bringing TAC-P, PJs, all the parts that are underneath a component command, basically ACC, and bringing them under one construct within an STS, which includes some form of security forces, EOD, TAC-P. What are your thoughts on that umbrella coming and kind of changing the whole battlefield airman construct?
So, they did a big finding. They did a big interview thing. They went across and they had Coast Guard. When I did my interview portion, there was a Coast Guard guy that was part of the board with some Air Force guy. I think there was an Army guy there too. And then they did the joint endeavor in regards to finding out what the biggest problems in TAC-P were. And the number one finding, and I'm glad it was the number one finding, because that was my biggest concern when I voiced my concern, was TAC-P lacks basically a unity of command. And what I mean by that, if I'm an AFSOC guy, no matter where I go in this world, whether I'm stationed in England, in Okinawa, in the States, no matter where I go, I'm under the same MAJCOM. Unfortunately for TAC-P, no matter where I go in the world, I'm constantly under a different MAJCOM. So right now I'm under PACAF. If I go back to the States, I'm under ACC. If I go to Europe, I'm under USAFE. And ACC is the parent MAJCOM over all TAC-P when it comes to equipping and funding. Well, not necessarily funding, but definitely the equipping piece. So one of the biggest findings is, like, how do we break that mold? So what I was hoping for, and I don't know where it's at, and they still maybe can talk about it, I'm just removed from that conversation, is I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what to name it, but if there was like a special warfare command, you know what I mean? And let's be honest, does it matter if I'm supporting ODA or Ranger as a conventional technique? Nope. What matters is you're pulling me under the umbrella and guys as special warfare. And I bring up, not me specifically, but me as a TAC-P, we bring a unique capability to no matter who we're supporting. Same thing the CCT does. In regards to bringing unique capabilities. They bring other capabilities we don't. We bring other capabilities they don't, and vice versa. There's no rivalry in that regard. It's fact, right? So, if I was... So, one of the things I wrote General Goldfein in this white paper, top, blow back, or whatever it was, that I sent up to him was, I mentioned Central Issue Facility from the Army. And I said, why on God's green earth am I required to go to the Army Central Issue Facility and be issued stuff that is great for an 11 Bravo infantryman, but does not fit my needs as a JTAC or as a TAC-P? And basically forgive me, but basically the term of it was like, God damn it, I'm an airman and I have an airman identity. The Air Force should be catering to those needs. I know the EODs dealt with some of the same stuff. Oh my God, Air Force weather, write those dudes off. Talk about the redhead stepchild of the freaking world, man. They don't even have a UTC requirement. They're relying on the Army for everything they need, from NVGs to weapons to Humvees. Air Force doesn't give them shit. And then the Army says, they go and they're like, where's my Humvee? Like, oh, that's the Sergeant Major's vehicle now. I'm just like, what? So, under the umbrella of special warfare, I don't believe it should be all, some, or none. I just think it should be all. There's talks about the ST-TAC-B going to this 1 Zulu AFSC, but guess what? Because we don't have that 06 advocacy, they're all talking about going to the same beret. Guess what color the beret is? You got it, scarlet. You know what I mean? Which is fine. That's not part of my fight, man. That's not who I am anymore, unless I get put in those positions. My point is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So when we look at the asymmetric conflicts, Syria, the counter-ISIS stuff, or ISIL, whatever we're going to call it today, how many conventional TAC-Ps that are deployed to the EASOS in Kuwait are getting tagged to go support ODAs downrange in Syria? A fucking shit ton. You know why? Because combat control can't do every single mission. There's not enough of them. There's not enough of us to do it either, but in order to complement each other in that fashion, in order to bring that close air support capability to the forefront of the battle, again, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? And that is specifically why I need our 13 Limas to be advocates for equitable distribution of some capabilities. I understand MFP 11 funding. I understand the SOCOM lines of accounting. I understand black money too, intricately well. I'm not asking for the money. I'm asking for the place at the table to make sure we express the same concerns, and it's a joint fight going in with the same argument for the end result. I'll recycle cans if I need to. Fun, it's fine.
Okay, so the capability that the TAC-P brings to the fight, we trace back to World War II with the first air tank team. What impact do you think this capability, as it's morphed to 2018, has had an impact on equipment, and as far as your weapon system in the air that you're able to employ? Obviously, we know what the equipment's going to be. Do you think that was the right decision, or do you think there's should have been a different piece of equipment that they identified to procure?
So, I think I know what you're asking, sir. I'm going to figure out how to capture it real quick, make sure I understand it. I have, my dude's got a lot of different equipment. And a lot of different equipment does a lot of different things. I would like to think that myself and others like me have stood on enough desks and yelled and screamed and cried and begged and sometimes stole in order to get, again, a proper tool to do a proper job, right? One thing we have done historically bad as TAC-P, and some people could be mad. That's okay. I will always go toe-to-toe with somebody senior to me if it's for the benefit of my airmen. We have gotten away from this is the proper thing to do things. Well, it's kind of expensive, so let's do this one. It does 3/4 of what this one does. That's bullshit, man. You're telling me that this is the greatest freaking military power in the history of the earth, and you want to buy this thing, which, oh, by the way, is going to require a $70 million upgrade in 3 years for the crypto upgrade stuff. Because you didn't think about that, did you, jackass? If I buy this piece, I spend more now, even though because I'm too lazy to go palm for that money. This thing has will self-sustain with contractor support, whatever else, warranty support for the next decade.